But before we start the review, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment below and join the discussion. Also, don't forget to tune in for the Ukrainian Bloggers podcast, which happens every Monday and Thursday.
Important question.
I like to think I'm important.
Who are you?
I'm a musician.
A musician.
Yeah.
What's a rap musician about?
Yeah, rap.
Yeah, I thought so.
Why? What do you mean?
I don't like rap, that's all.
You don't like rap?
No.
So you don't like me?
No, I don't like the music. The rap music. What they sing about. Guns and violence and drugs.
I don't talk about none of that. I talk about girls.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Cell Reviews. I'm back today with another review, and today we're reviewing the brand new album by Mostack. It's not really brand new, it actually came out on the 7th of June, if I'm not mistaken. He's released this album and it's called Stacko, released on the Virgin EMI label. Let's get to it. The album features artists such as Fredo, Dave, Stormzy, who I personally felt like he pretty much brought in this album. Features the likes of Dolapo, who is an upcoming singer in the UK here. It also featured producers such as Il Blue, Steel Bangles, as well as TSB, which to me, immediately seeing those producers' credits, I already knew that there would be a lot of variety in this, and I couldn't really wait to actually unpack and hear what this album is about and what he had to say. With the fact that the album is actually called Stacko, and you can already tell what it's about. It's about money, and it's money orientated. With all this in mind, with the feature list, with the producers list, I personally gave this album a stream it. Let me explain. With the title itself, Stacko, with that preface alone, I didn't really go into this album expecting too much. It's just basically stacking money. My mind was as open as my mind was still open, but it wasn't as if I was like, oh, this is gonna be, I'm expecting this to be an introspective album, or I'm expecting this to be XYZ. That's not what I went into. So with the album Stacko, and also with the interviews that he's done with Tim Westwood.
Now, to me, the album felt super personal. Like, it just felt like you telling your stories, man.
Now, you know what? I don't even feel like it was personal. I feel like literally, I just made the album for summer. Like, I had some pain tunes on there that I could have put on there, but I didn't. I just made it for summer, literally, because I just wanted people to vibe, innit?
Yeah.
Literally, I didn't want to put none of that pain shit. Maybe in my second album, I'll be more thoughtful and more meaningful, but nah, man, this is just for summer, man, and performance-wise.
He let us know that this was a summer album, that this was an album that he wanted to put out onto the charts. And personally, with this album, you get a lot of variety. I personally recommend this album simply because of the fact that there is just that variety. With Il Blue producing most of the tracks from this, as well as TSB, both of these guys are traditionally house DJ. In fact, Il Blue has been known in funky house. He's been known to create house music. So with that, I can already think that if it's going to be around the 100 and 105 BPM range or 95 BPM range, it was going to sound very different to what we're already hearing, and this kind of speaks to the grand vision that was trying to give to you, which is that feel good vibe that house does provide. In my opinion, house music is the perfect platform in which you can pretty much sell a club tune on. That's pretty much the perfect premise to start with. That it's not, it can make you feel this, like it does make you feel at times like go through the motions, but not as much, in my opinion, as R&B and hip hop would. But anyway, going back to the topic, seeing him on the producer credits, I was interested and very intrigued to hear the sound on this album, and in my opinion, it set Mostack apart from the rest of the artists that are around in the UK. It wasn't generally Afro swing. It wasn't either. It was very hip hop esque, like with its own unique sound to it. you can even tell how house focused it kind of was until you get to What I Want. What I Want was pretty much the house track that was that. You can say that the build up from the first tracks that was produced by Ill Blue was kind of building up to, because it's as if he went crazy on this one. But outside of that, like, the same producer, Ill Blue, kind of switched it up again, and literally on What I Wanna, I was surprised. I didn't think he could make a full hip hop tune like that. It still had house elements in there, but I was still in my eyes, I was very impressed that he was able to provide that kind of variety, which gave the album a much needed breath of fresh air. Like, it didn't sound the same. It didn't sound repetitive. It didn't sound like the same themes were played over and over again. I don't really have much swipes on it. I like the fact that Stormzy, when he appeared on it, like all of his favorite featured artists, actually, they brought a different side. Actually, no, it was only Stormzy that I think brought a different side, because we're not really used to Stormzy singing or doing things like that, like a J Hus type of character. But that's what Stormzy brought. J Hus also featured on this album, which I personally felt like his performance was good as well. Dave as well was also a very good performance. There's not really anything in terms of story-wise that will capture your eyes in this album. It's not that kind of album. And if you were coming in thinking that this album is going to be like that, no, it's not. The reason why I recommend this is simply because of the fact that you do get variety. He has taken a lot of care to separate himself from the other artists in the game. He has taken care of the instrumentation side. The team he's brought together to do the job has done the job. They have delivered. Personally, I gave him a personal rating of 79% out of 80. Sorry, out of 100, I should say. 79 out of 100, which is basically 79%. In my opinion, after watching the interviews and knowing what he was going for with this specific album, I was kind of disappointed, in the sense that if you were going for a club banger, the person I compared to Tiger. Now, every artist is very different. Like, they all have different focuses when it comes to an album. They all have different things to tell. But however, I know for a fact if Skepta was to say I'm going for a club banger or whatever, that's what he's going to deliver. He's not going to put anything emotive in it. Likewise with Tiger, for example, if he says he's going for just bangers and bangers and bangers, that's what you're going to get. In fact, his new album Legendary is the perfect example to this, because it's nothing but hits and what you want to hear in the club. However, with Mostack, it's as if he's holding himself back a lot. Holding himself back in terms of releasing what he feels, and I feel like that's more of his artist. He's more of an artist that really makes music for the way he's feeling, rather than to make a club hit or to solely focus on a club hit. And I think this was more of a challenging album for him. That makes sense. It was more of a challenge for him to try and overcome that kind of hurdles. Like, I want to try this now. I want to try and see if I can do this. Yes, I'm going, like, he's going through that period of just enjoying himself. He has said in numerous interviews that he's going through a phase where he's getting a lot of women, he's going to a lot of clubs, and he wants to talk about that. But you can tell that in the surface that he's holding back a lot. And I would have, this wasn't the album for it, and he was right, but he still dived in. There's kind of tracks that I would have liked him. Okay, if you're gonna give us that bit of variety in terms of story, Girls Diaries was probably the best one. You could have told, he could have said, okay, this is what I learned from each of these women, or this is what I have learned myself personally, this is what I regret, these are so many things. Like, he could have gone a deeper layer, but to me, it just felt like he was holding back. And the fact that he's releasing another album after this, I think he is going to emote on it. I do wish for that. But in terms of this album, I didn't like the fact that it seems like he was leaning club side one moment, and then he was leaning to a personal, emotive side the other moment. There was that confusion. And if you're going for an album in which you want it to just be clubs, then there's nothing wrong with focusing on that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. There's a market for it. But I just didn't like that kind of confusion, because I heard that a little bit and I didn't like it. But overall, that's just my only swipe of it. Overall, I personally think it's a pretty good album. I personally think it's a pretty good album. There is a lot. There is a lot you can pick from here. I personally think that it's a very good album. Versatility in terms of productions, the productions was really tight on this project. I personally think that that's what a lot of people will come away satisfied with. Obviously, I'm being anal in the way I analyze these things and say, oh, I would have expected this or this and that. But overall, without me putting that kind of blanket over it, without me putting that kind of my swipe at it, it is a really decent work, and it is a different sounding album from what you're conventionally used to. The track Make Me Fall in Love and You Can Keep Me Forever kind of, wow, it's really hot in here. The track Made Me Fall in Love and You Can Keep Me Forever. I need to open the window or something. It's actually hot in the UK today. But yeah, this track is pretty much the proof of the comedy in the track. Of the comedy in the album. This is not the only track to actually have that. There's a lot more in here. It's just that this one was a highlight. I was laughing through when I actually heard the lyrics. So that's, again, like I said, that's the one part that I do enjoy in regards to I need to get a towel, 1 second. Yeah, in regards the track in regards to this track, this isn't the only track in which this isn't the only track in which you have a lot of comedy. There is comedy all over this album. It's very lighthearted, and that's what I think a lot of people would actually enjoy with this. So yeah, that's been my review of Mostack Stacko. I do recommend that you go check it out. I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you so much for taking your time to check out the review. I'm curious to know your thoughts on this album in the comment section below. No swipes against him. I personally think that he has gone strength to strength after he released Body. In 2014, he's done nothing but climb higher there. So in my honest and personal opinion, he has really outdone a lot of these UK artists, and he's really forced his way into the UK scene. And honestly, I personally think that he's one of the bright sparks that can emulate what Slick Rick done in hip hop. I think he's gone through that lane. I think there is a lot you can actually expect from the guy. So yeah, so yeah, no gripes, no real swipes with the album. It's just my own personal take. I would have preferred him to take a different route, on one track, which it's just, again, that's just one track. I had no other swipes with no other track, in my opinion. I just thought that was a missed opportunity. Make sure you stream it over and over again, and let's go stack these pounds.